It was inspired by a true story.
A true story.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Garage Talk Podcast, The Last of Us HBO Episode 5 review. And thank you for joining in on your Super Bowl Sunday. We appreciate you taking time out to watch this. It was great having an episode come out on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That was
too.
very enjoyable. I thoroughly appreciated that. But now it's like, now I got to wait 9 days
I know.
for the next episode. And that's
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
it is. The Super Bowl helped us get through at least today. But
It'll do something.
they just need to just give me all the episodes. Give me all the episodes right now. I'm sick of this waiting.
I remember the first review episode. You're like, oh, man, I'm really excited. Like, you get to wait and kind of...
No, not anymore. The show's
This is
just
so impatient.
clawing into me.
Like a clicker.
Nice. Well,
Thanks.
let's get into it then. Episode 5, the second best episode of the season thus far, in my opinion.
Whoa! High
It's the
praise
second
here.
best episode behind number 1, obviously.
And you
Really?
rank it higher than Frank and Bill.
Yes.
Whoa.
Because I love the Frank and Bill episode, which we talked about in that episode. Go back on youtube.com/@Garage Talk podcast to review that. But that was like, it was a beautiful, amazing, almost kind of side story.
Yeah.
And I admit, I thought it was amazing for what it was. This was the story.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I think it's
That's fair.
One step
Yeah,
above.
that's a fair assessment, I think.
I don't know.
well, I know you don't know. You literally said on the review of episode 3 that it was like the greatest moment of television in your life. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be remembered as one of the best episodes in television history. I don't think either.
Have you
the
seen
two-
the Have
I
you seen
think
the
that's
Watchmen?
I think that's also a
No.
fair assessment.
There's an
though.
episode in there that you would really like too.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, so episode 5, let's get right into it. Following up on episode 4, which we had our issues with last week that we spoke probably too long
We didn't
about.
get to hear Tim's, though.
Here-
Tim,
what?
did you?
We'll cover it here in a little bit.
Oh,
You
okay,
liked
sorry.
episode 4?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agreed that it was the weak one
Mhm.
as well. It didn't. It was kind of left it kind of.
But I think
Yeah.
it was all worth it because episode
Yeah.
5 happened.
No, I knew it wasn't going to stay down long,
Yeah.
but it was just that you need that lull, to keep. It's got to be up and
You got to
down.
stay on.
Can't-
They got to keep
can't-
us on our toes.
You can't be pedal to the metal all the time. You'll run out of gas.
You can't appreciate the sunshine without a little bit of rain.
You can't.
Get closer to your mic.
You can't get closer to your mic without kissing it a little bit.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's talk about the up in front obvious change that was made to this.
Mm-hmm.
Sam was a deaf child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out great, I thought.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It
And
was so
it's-
cool.
It's one of those things that I love in the post episode recap where Neil Druckmann's like, "Damn, I wish I would have thought of that."
Yeah, that was
really
great.
good. But obviously, that it wouldn't work in the video game medium, I don't think. So I thought it was a great change here. They made him a little bit younger as well,
Mhm.
and all of that was just great. It enhanced his reliance on Henry
Mhm.
as well, and
It also made their relationship, I feel like, seem a bit more, like even more close. Just because, I mean, yes, they're brothers. Henry is like looking after him and stuff, but the idea that they share a language with one another, that I'm sure that not a lot of other people probably
I'm assuming
know.
ASL virtually died off
Yeah, exactly.
after the apocalypse.
I feel like that just
Well-
added another layer of like their relationship to it.
Well, being deaf and not being able to hear things behind you would be
Or hear how loud you're being.
kind of a big disadvantage.
And they even showed that as well too, where he's
Yeah.
like, "What's happening?" Like and shout out to that kid to have that look of fear in your eyes of not what's going on was
It's
awesome.
so good.
I mean, that kid was what 8 years old or something?
Something like that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and actually deaf.
Yeah, he was actually deaf.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he was actually deaf.
That's awesome.
So they had an ASL guy on set helping out, and then obviously the guy Lamar, I can't remember his name, the actor who did
Yeah.
Henry. He actually had to learn sign language for the role, and
Oh, cool.
So it was a really cool thing, and I thought it was done amazing, and their chemistry with Joel and Ellie was just as good in the game.
Yeah, so
I think.
good.
And I would even say it was almost enhanced by the the hearing disability as well, just because it added that much more tension. It also added that much more of, as you kind of said, a reliance and a fear factor that where he needed Henry virtually, and so I thought it was all great.
Yeah, and then also just like Sam's relationship with Ellie too. Just I don't know, like in the game, it was a beautiful little friendship that they had. In the show, it seemed to kind of shine through even better.
I think it's shown through even better because we got to see a more like Ellie's heart, like her compassion, which because so far we've only seen, her kind of humor, sarcastic defense mechanism that helps her survive through this world.
Yeah,
we got to see that kind of broken down in this episode with her interactions with Sam.
Like, she's never gotten to really be a kid.
Yeah, she's grown up in this hellscape where you got to pretty much grow up fast or die, and that's
and she got to meet a younger than her, and she got to kind of just finally kind of embrace the childhood that she kind of got to miss out on, and really embrace it and share it with Sam. And it was awesome watching them like read the comics and play a little soccer and just kind of chit chat with one another with the what do you even call that thing? I don't remember
the writing
what that toy,
thing.
Yeah, what that toy was, but yeah, it was super cool.
I'm gonna side tangent here because I think this is gonna maybe make me cry. Spoiler alert! I'm going to the games. This is gonna be spoiler for the games. So if you're just watching the show, fast forward 30 seconds.
But don't worry about it if you're not going to play the games, I think. But
yeah, I guess. So in the DLC, downloadable content for you unverified gamers, we see Ellie's backstory and what happens before she meets Joel. And when she gets bit, she's in this mall and she's with her
I have played the DLC.
Friend/girlfriend Riley, and who's another person her age, and they kind of have some chemistry there. Anyway, they both get bit, and she ends up having to kill Riley. That's what she refers to earlier on last episode. That just makes this, and I didn't think about this, that makes this episode and her relationship with Sam even that much more impactful because she did lose some of that innocence in that her childhood friendship with Riley. She personally killed it. And so now Sam's role in kind of helping her rediscover not her innocence but her childness, for lack of a better term, that just makes it even more powerful. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, and like the moment where Sam shows that he was bitten, and Ellie is just like,
let's get to that at the end.
Okay,
Let's kind of go through the episode here a little bit more because that's going to take up a lot of time. So again, as I reiterated on last week,
the whole show just ties in really well, so it's hard to stay in one spot.
Kathleen, awful actress.
I liked this episode with her a lot more.
That scene with her and Tommy. What's his name in the show?
I
just call him Tommy. It's like Walter or something like that. Yeah. Perry. It's Perry. His name's Perry. So her and Perry were in that room, and she kind of has this emotional talk about losing her brother and all this stuff. And the whole time, I'm just thinking like, wow, this would be an amazing scene if we had somebody who could. I mean, put me in a wig, and I would have performed that better than she did.
You didn't like it? Huh?
No. The writing. I was seeing the writing. I was like, the writing is incredible, and she just can't deliver it to save her life.
Really?
Just a hollow shell.
I liked it. I liked it.
I liked it too, but despite her attempts at trying to destroy it for me.
Yeah, I was actually gonna defend her, because I thought she was a different actress than she was, but then I've actually looked up and like, oh wait, that wasn't her. So now I guess I don't really care yet. I kind of agree.
What actress did you think she was?
Well, I thought
you had a bias, like a positive bias towards her, and then you realized that it wasn't her, and you're like, never mind then. Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so stupid.
I know.
Hold on. What actress did you think it was?
Well, I thought she was in another show. It was actually that the Fargo TV show, and I was like, no, wait.
Oh yeah, that's not her.
Yeah, it wasn't her. No, I was like, oh, never mind. Yeah, now because I was like, oh, maybe. No, I don't think she sucks near as much as you're making it seem, but maybe somebody could have done it differently. I don't know.
Yeah, anybody could have done it better.
Yeah.
not just differently.
Well,
But I'm glad you liked it, Vince. I'm glad it worked
I did
for you.
like it. I do, and we beat this to death last episode. But it would have been nice for somebody who seemed more authoritative, like just was demanded more authority, right?
Yeah, when Perry
And then
said
s-
your
and-
brother didn't get us here, you did. I was like, are you joking? Is he being sarcastic right now? I don't buy it for a second.
I mean, her brother must have held a lot of clout for everybody, just like for her to be the de facto. I guess like they respect her because of.
Well, I mean, it sounds like
the
her
brother, I guess. So,
her brother never was able to take that next step for the.
he was
for
too
the
he was too
rebel-
compassionate.
Yeah, and her, kind of losing
Well,
him and then having nothing else to be
It,
compassionate for.
it made her ruthless.
Yeah. But
So
like I
her
said,
drive for vengeance made her.
it would have been cool to see
a good
somebody
leader, I suppose.
who just seemed more,
Short-sighted leader, I guess. But.
yeah. It would have been nice to see somebody who seemed more kind of stern and scary, being breaking down a little
Well-
bit and showing that kind of vulnerability with Perry in that scene.
You can
would
be
have been nice.
You can be, I mean, muted, scary. I guess like there you can. That can be.
You just can't be house mom scary.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're
it's
white,
like
if
you,
you're white anyway.
like you don't
I
have
should
to.
have got your.
You don't
wife
have
to
to
play
be like.
Kathleen. That would have been terrifying.
Shit.
Robin would be a pretty good
She would have
Kathleen.
been so scary.
there is a way to deliver the strongness without being like chest beating like rah, all the
Yeah.
time. But yeah, I don't think she quite.
She
got
wasn't
it
good at
there.
it.
She didn't have the
quite
subtleness
get
either.
it there, but I felt like I could almost feel it, and then it's like.
All right, let me take one more shot at her before we move on.
You just really don't like this.
At
lady.
the end of the afterward episode or whatever behind the episode, she was talking and she has some weird half like Australian accent. And Rob and I look at each other and I'm like, even her like real life accent annoys the hell out of me. She's like, I was about to say the same thing. So I was like, I'm sorry, whoever this lady is,
Yeesh.
I don't like her
Yeah.
as a person either. Apparently, not even just her,
I'm
her
sure
acting
you.
abilities.
I can almost guarantee you probably seen her in other shows. And
Yeah,
it
she looks
never-
familiar.
and it
Yeah,
didn't bother you.
Probably because it. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. I did really enjoy the writing with that was good though about how her brother was killed because Henry ratted him out and turned him over to Fedra. All of that was really good, and I loved the scene that we got in the tunnels with Joel saying, "Look, dude, I get it." Like I seeing kind of him softening his heart a little bit and seeing what he has had to deal with Sam. That okay, I see what we all do because he I feel like he had a moment of reflection too where he's like, I did what I had to do to survive for so long. I understand what you did now.
Yeah.
Like I'm no rat, but then now I can see it from a different point of view. You did what you had to do for who you cared about.
Yeah, and then you see too, just like, all these side characters. It's just so funny to me because like all the side characters kind of like tell Joel what he's like keeps refusing to accept is that he is kind of Ellie's father figure now.
And then people keep pointing it
And
out.
people keep going, it's like, listen, man, like, you
She's
maybe
not my daughter.
Yeah, but they just keep doing
That
it
was a terrible
over and
Texan
over.
accent. She's not my daughter. There we go.
But yeah,
Shit, I can be Joel. Ellie, you're walking on some thin ice right now.
not as tall or
Handsome.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
As Troy Baker or Pedro Pascal. I dwarf in comparison to both. Granted, they are both top of their respective classes. But. So that was good. And then I loved. Should we just get back to the final half, the back end of it?
yeah, if you're ready.
Yeah, great. I
I
thought
mean, there was a lot of tension in those tunnels. I felt like I guess before we get off of that, like just
yeah.
walking through it is like.
Well, and it's
I was like,
always
there's no way this can go
Because you get
smoothly.
flashbacks of video games. It's like because you're going every time you're going through a tunnel, like shit's gonna go down, and
But
it
they're-
didn't.
Them holding
It
off
didn't.
on it though, that
Yeah,
built up suspension
Yeah.
paid off.
it's like oh,
amazingly.
nothing happened.
and especially with that kind of foreshadowing from last episode.
Yeah.
I had
Underground.
forgotten about it.
Yeah, see,
I
was
had
thinking about
one-
the whole time because when they were in the tunnel, I was like, oh.
See, I
gonna walk
completely,
around
I
and have a
completely forgot
hive.
about it. And then when I saw the truck go down, I go, I forgot about it. They're coming. So it was great. I loved but the town setup was really good. It reminded me just like the video game.
Oh, it
I
was
thought
perfect,
the
man.
aesthetic was so good there. I love he's like where Joel's like, his aim's shit. I'm just gonna stick around back. He
Yeah.
obviously can't hit anything.
And
it's
sure
that,
enough, it was
that old dude.
old as shit guy. Yeah, so yeah,
And go figure.
no wonder should have died out a long time ago.
How'd he survive
Yeah,
shooting like that?
I mean, he might have been like a veteran, you know. Well, I guess this is like 2023, so yeah.
It could have been.
He
Tommy's a veteran in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just thinking, like, well, he wouldn't be a World War II veteran. He'd
Or in the
be,
show.
He'd be over 100.
He would be a Nam.
Nam vet.
And
Nam.
that could be,
Yeah,
because he'd
yeah.
be pushing it
Yeah.
in that age.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was kept alive by people that, for some reason, show compassion towards the elderly.
Kathleen, probably.
Yeah, and that old guy just basically got the entire rebellion killed. So
I didn't even think about it.
I'm just
Kansas
saying,
City's just a
guys.
wasteland now.
Yeah, because of that old guy couldn't just shoot somebody.
But great. Yeah, after that happened, it was amazing seeing the swarm of zombies coming out was terrifying. They definitely did a good job of switching the way zombies operate from the game to the show, but still having that same kind of intensity and fear factor
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Seeing them all just bursting out of the ground, sprinting and scrambling out towards everybody in just a wave of just awful, terrifying bodies is just, it was awful. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And the little girl one,
Yeah.
that was like the little girl clicker that was like
terrifying.
and the way she whoever played that little girl like flipping over the seats and stuff, I was like, God,
Some little gymnast.
yeah, I know, it was so bad. Oh my goodness. And then of course
The bloater.
the bloater, dude. Oh, it looked so cool. It looked so cool.
It was a great nod to video game players too, because that's if you get caught by one of those, he rips your head off.
Yeah.
That was brutal. Robin literally jumped when that happened.
Dude. Yeah. I was kind of like Perry, I guess, just like knew he was sacrificing himself because, man, he didn't try at all. He just stood there shooting.
But maybe he's never come across a bloater.
That's true.
In the game, are they impervious to bullets? Do you have to burn them, or is it? I can't remember.
They were very resistant to
Yeah, that's what I
bullets.
figured.
They're very hard to kill.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. You usually had to have a Molotov or whatever. But
Mhm.
Perry did not have one.
He
Yeah.
did not.
He found out what happened the hard way. There are no redos in this show.
Yeah.
No
You
game
don't-
overs and
You don't
try
start
again.
from your last checkpoint.
I do like Ellie's time in the scene of her, I don't want to say heroicism, but her selfless attempts at helping Sam and Henry, knowing that she can't be infected. So she really put herself on the line. Thought that was
Yeah.
great character development for her.
Joel's realization of like what she was doing and him not being able to like stop her.
So
too.
all he could
He's
do
just
is give her
like,
cover
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, that was really cool too. And I mean, so far, no, he never like reprimanded her for it either. Never, like, blew up on her for doing such a risky thing. Again, just another kind of nice thing that's like showing that they're getting closer and closer.
And understanding and a
Yeah.
trust.
Mm-hmm.
I will give Kathleen the actress's credit. I did like her little spiel to Henry when they had him cornered before the zombies came,
It was really good.
where she's like, "Did you ever
Morcus.
think that maybe he was supposed to die?"
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I thought that was kind of haunting, and definitely kind of real, because I mean, when you live through an apocalypse, I mean, your ideas of fate and destiny and the way the world works can be so completely twisted and whatnot, and that through your pain that you will search for anything to justify what you're doing. I'll give her credit; she did good there. And then I was so happy watching her killed by a child clicker. That I cheered. I cheered. I gave a standing ovation. I got out of bed and started clapping.
You're one of those people that would have clapped if it was in a theater. Like, yeah.
No, I did clap.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
in public,
I was
you
watching
would've
it too.
too.
I would
If you
have.
were-
In public, you would have too. Yeah. No, I immediately thought, I was like, Tyler's so happy right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys thought of me. That warms my heart. Yeah, so let's dive right into the. So they escape. Obviously, they get hitched up in that hotel.
Kansas City's fucked again. That's awesome.
What's
Thank
that?
goodness.
Kansas City's fucked.
Love it. Love to see it.
They get away. They
Yeah, you
Scott
just see
Free,
all the
like-
all the
Yeah,
the
just-
zombies just start sprinting back towards Kansas City.
yeah.
And Vince is like, I hope Patrick Mahomes is in there.
Yeah, he no way he survived the initial infection.
There were no refs to help him out.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait till somebody turns that into a post Super Bowl GIF.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I need to figure out
Do
how
it.
to do gifts.
Do it,
I
Tim.
don't know how to do that.
Just
But
Google
this-
it real quick.
I just had the idea. I'm sure somebody's already thinking of it.
Pay somebody.
Yeah, just putting it out there.
It's gonna be they're gonna put Patrick Mahomes' face on Kathleen and the Eagles logo on the little girl clicker.
I love it.
I gotta make sure
There you go.
I thought of that first. Okay, so when
It's
the
copyrighted here on
when
our
the
YouTube
Eagles win,
page.
I get it.
There's been like 5 different instances. I'll say something on here, and then I'll see the meme like 3 days later. I'm like, you fucks.
They probably because they're stealing from our content.
Yeah.
It's the only,
Not,
only explanation.
You're not paying the Patreon, bastards.
So we get in the hotel, and Sam and Ellie go in their room, get ready to go to bed. I wish we could have seen some time with Joel and Henry having
A
some
bit more, yeah.
some bro time.
Mhm.
I do like the one thing that they paralleled from the game really well is when you play the game, you're like, okay, I've bonded, I've played with these guys, I've bonded with them, I really like them. I can't wait. Come to Wyoming with us. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
be a team because you guys are awesome. We're awesome. We work together. Awesome. They mimicked that in the show
Mhm.
perfectly. So that was cool. And then we get in the room with Sam and Ellie, and gosh, it's so hard as being a game player because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know it's coming.
Oh my gosh.
And he shows her the leg, and
Well, the thing that got me was when like they're writing back and forth and stuff, and then he goes, "If you're still a monster, is it still you
my
inside?"
gosh.
That was like, no.
Yeah.
I was crushed, dude.
That
I was
hurts.
crushed, and the realization on Ellie's face too. Oh my gosh, man. I'm starting to tear up again.
and I loved just kind of going back to her kind of innocence and her almost naiveness, where she cuts her hand and puts it on the wheel.
my blood is medicine.
Like, yeah, this will help, and hoping that it would.
Yeah.
I think there was a part of her that thought it was going to.
Yeah,
There was a
that's
part of
what
that,
I
yeah,
felt.
that hoped, and that's what I mean. Her kind of
Yeah.
her innocence there really came through, and it was heartbreaking
Mhm.
Yeah.
for both of them.
Yeah.
And
For me.
for us, for us especially. I loved it. So I was watching with Robin, and she was like, she's like, as Ellie's touching, she's like, "Does this happen in the game, or is this happening in the game?" I'm like, "No, not at all." So I'm like, I have no idea what's going on to throw her off.
Yeah.
And then I later told her, I was like, I was being literal, like she didn't touch his leg in the game.
Yeah.
So that happens. She falls asleep, and he turns infected, tackles her through the door and everything, and it was almost mirror for mirror, just like in the video game. And I would argue this is another instance where live action made the scene more emotional because the actor who was Henry, you saw it in his eyes, the confusion, the fear, and the trauma all happening at once, and it just took that intense level of storytelling just up a notch to another level.
Yeah. It was like, Joel wants to save Ellie, but don't touch my fucking brother, man. And it's.
Yeah.
And it was so heartbreaking. All over again. I knew it was coming, and
Yeah.
it still crushed me.
Yep.
And then, obviously he kills himself. Robin did call that.
Yeah.
After shot, she goes, "Oh, he's gonna kill himself."
Yeah.
I didn't even call it in the game, but
Yeah.
also I'm blind when I play things. But, but yeah, that just made it. And the thing I think that also makes it so heartbreaking too is not just obviously a brother having to kill a brother and all that stuff, but again, it was as a viewer and even as a player, as were Joel and Ellie, we became attached to these guys because we want them with us. The chemistry is great and everything that I talked about earlier. So it's like you have this notion of like, we're in this together.
Mhm.
And so it just crushes you even more when that happens.
And just like the short little backstory they gave Sam and Henry at the very beginning, they did such a good job of just like making them very likable characters, and just like you're really rooting for those guys to make it through. And even though you know that they're going to meet up with Joel and Ellie in very shortly, you're just like, oh, these guys are awesome, and yeah, just kills you.
And I didn't cry through all that.
Oh,
I was
really?
very brave
Wow.
through all
very
that.
brave, so courageous.
When she wrote "I'm sorry,"
Oh,
then
the waterworks came.
the floodgates opened up, and I was because I thought watching her write, I was like, oh, she's gonna write Super Sam, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. That's gonna kill me. And
It was worse.
And then I'm sorry. I just go no.
That's worse.
And then I started crying, and then And the biggest part of the episode then that we see there is Ellie's retransformation of kind of finding her innocence and hope in the world was again immediately severed,
crushed,
and now she is
built up those walls again.
grab
just
your
higher and thicker.
grab your shit, Joel. We're going to Wyoming.
Yeah,
she became
which
Joel
way's
for a
west,
moment.
yeah. And you saw it break Joel's heart too, which was
And
that was tough
that
to see.
that last scene really put everything into perspective, and that's like, this is going. The end of the season is going to. It's going to obliterate me. They are doing this so perfectly. So seeing them both, at the simultaneously Ellie tightening up and putting up the walls, while Joel is now becoming empathetic towards her and breaking his own walls down that he created to protect himself from any sort of pain again.
Yeah,
was just.
It's heartbreaking when you see Joel's walls kind of starting to be torn down, and then Ellie's walls are all the way down, ready to open up, ready to accept any sort of like kind of love and friendship she can get, and then that happens. It's just brick wall, steel wall. Like there's just nothing happening now. But yeah, great episode, amazing episode.
I hope that doesn't mean the next one's going to be a meh.
It could be. I bet we get to Wyoming next episode.
By the looks of it, yeah, it looks like
there's
we're going to
just-
be. We won't talk about what our
Yeah.
predictions, but yeah. So
I didn't watch the preview for next episode.
did you
so I
like
don't even know.
Bill and Frank episode more than this one?
Man, it's that is tough. You bringing up the whole idea that that's a beautiful kind of isolated
Mhm.
story in this world. That's a good argument.
It's
for-
hard to compare them, honestly.
right because they're trying to do two separate things. One is moving the plot forward. One is kind of like expanding on the world that we have, expanding on some characters and stuff. I don't know. As far as just if you just look at it specifically episode to episode, I think Bill and Frank episode is it's almost perfect. Like
Mhm.
there's hard to find any flaws in it, right? So I think it might be my favorite episode, honestly. Number one being number two.
See, number one for me is just
It's so
so
good.
it takes the best part of the game and elevates it.
Yeah.
You have any other thoughts on this episode, Tim?
Well, I mean, you guys were last week trying to make Kansas City make sense, I guess, why they changed it or whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, it is like a really off course from Wyoming.
Maybe
So
they just took a wrong left turn.
I guess, but it's like, yeah.
Also,
I mean,
he's
I
letting
guess
Ellie
you
read a
don't-
map. Like that's probably the mistake there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
don't
agree
know.
with you. Though.
I mean,
But
it worked. It was fine.
My
Yeah,
idea
it
is that
just-
if like I said, it's a post-apocalyptic
They
world.
should have made it.
and,
some of those-
but it is if they're gonna jump to.
They should have made it
Wyoming.
Chicago. They should have made it Chicago.
Well,
I bet you don't want to go to Chicago.
yeah, I have a feeling that's probably. I bet Chicago is one of the cities that got bombed to oblivion.
Yeah.
Oh
probably.
yeah, that
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
So maybe that's
That's
why
why-
they had to detour around.
Yeah. So I think there's things that you can
Still,
you can,
still
yeah.
radiation in the air. It's Chernobyl.
right. So that's why I think you can kind of work it out in your head. Be like, okay, there's probably reasons why this is a thing, and you don't have I don't know.
Yeah. No,
To
I'm not
linger-
upset about it. I was
Yeah.
just like, man, that's like.
I love to
just,
see-
just as a person, I like road trips and like. That would just piss me off.
Tim's road trip OCD is like it's too far out of the way.
I wonder if anybody else was complaining, like thinking of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A last final side note. This is I'm having the Sarah effect with Henry and Sam. Such great characters and such great actors that it's like, man, I hate to lose them.
Yeah, I know.
Not only as characters, but as like the actors and the portrayals and the on-set chemistry and everything. It sucks to lose them.
Yeah, I just for those actors, man, this was a great bit of acting to go on their resume.
I could see this as a Game of Thrones. You know, a lot of people from Game of Thrones end up getting jobs after Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. I could definitely see that happening
For sure.
and it's well deserved.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's all going to be like silly rom-coms or weird
Who
things
cares?
like that.
Their actors go get paid.
Yeah, get your money. I just wish I could. I want to see him in something that I would enjoy to watch.
Any other final thoughts?
Can't wait for next week.
Can't wait for
Just
next
9 days from now.
What
I guess
are we
Well,
gonna
no,
do?
it's
Yeah.
it's
No, football
7
all
days
week.
from
9
now.
days from.
It's going to be even
yesterday,
longer
yeah.
because there's no football next week. So none of the podcasts or TV shows or anything that I watch are not going to be talking about football. So there's going to be nothing on TV or radio or podcast I can listen to.
This is a sad thing about today.
We'll be streaming on Twitch Saturday, so
Yeah, there we go. Tune into Vince's Twitch stream to watch some magic.
the spell counter.
Yeah, trust me. Without football, it's not like you guys have anything better to do. Okay, we know it, and same goes for us. All right. Well, yeah. Tune in next. It'll be next Monday, not tomorrow. Next Monday,
Mm-hmm.
February.
19th.
Help!
I got you, bro.
20th.
The 20th. I think it's
The
February
20th, yeah.
February 20th.
President's Day.
President's Day.
Oh well, that's a holiday, man. I can't.
Oh shit! I'll be recording alone because
Yeah.
the union spoke.
Unless you want to pay me double time.
It's only a bank.
Time and a half.
It's only it's only like a bank holiday. So
This ain't no bank.
yeah.
It'd be nice if it was.
Hmm.
All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Squeeze.